let's go ahead and solve for x and y given these two equations. So before I figure out my strategy, I'm going to do some math here to get a better feel for what's happening. So I'm going to square 2 root 19, so that'll be 4 times 19. And then here, this is x squared. Here, I'd like to factor out that 2, so I'm going to. But remember, when I factor out that 2, the 2 I'm factoring out is affected by the squared. So I've written sort of temporarily that 2 squared. So let's keep going. So 4 times 19 is 76 equals x squared plus 4 times y plus 1 squared. So now I have a better feel for sort of the numbers and values. And let's do something similar to equation number 2. I'm going to square root 19. So I have 19 equals y squared plus, and I'm just going to write 9 over 4 x squared. So I have both x squared and y squared in both equations, but the y squared that I have here is inside of a binomial bracket squared. So that's not going to be easy to separate because it's not technically y squared. It's actually y squared plus 2y, right? If I expand that y plus 1 squared. But on both sides of the equation, in both equations, I have an x squared without the binomial situation. So I'm going to isolate x squared in both equations. Or in one, we'll see what happens algebraically. Like, for example, here, I could write 76 minus 4 blah, blah, blah. So in equation number 1, I get that x squared is equal to that. Now in equation number 2, I could say that I'm going to multiply everything by 4. And then I'm going to divide everything by 9. Right. And then if I subtract, I have 76 over 9 minus 4 over 9 y squared equals x squared. So again, this is a rearranged equation 1, rearranged equation 2, and I'm going to make them equal to each other so that I only have x squared to solve for. Sorry, I only have y squared to solve for. So x squared must be equal to x squared. So this must be equal to this. And then that gives me just an equation to solve. Okay, so there's one equation, one unknown. Let's solve. So I'm going to multiply everything by 9 because that will alleviate this divide by 9 fraction nonsense. 76 times 9, I don't know that off the top of my head. Calculator time, 684. And then multiplying this by 9 is really just 4 times 9 is 36. And while I'm here, I might as well expand that binomial. And here, because I multiplied by 9, I don't see the fraction anymore. No more fraction, yay! So I'm going to multiply negative 36 into the bracket. And then I'm going to collect like terms. Oh, I can do that here. Negative 76 plus 4y squared equals 0. Boy, it sure looks like a quadratic is coming to pieces here. So collecting like terms. I've got negative 32y squared. And then I've got minus 72y. And then my constants, I have 684 minus 36 minus 76, which is plus 572 equals 0. So, I mean, you could jump right to the quadratic formula at this point. I'm certainly not going to. Gross. Definitely I can divide by 2. Can I divide by 4? Yes, I can divide by 4. So I'm going to common factor negative 4 out. That gives me 18y. Oops, sorry. Glitch in the matrix. 18y, and then that would be 572 divided by 4. That would give me negative 143. Sorry, my pen is acting up. Okay, minus 143 equals 0. Now, I mean, you could try to factor it. I guess, what's left over here. I'm not going to. I'm just going to use the quadratic formula. Y equals negative b. Sorry, messed up. Y equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. Notice the negative 4 in front is ignored because I divided both sides by negative 4, so it's basically gone. So y is negative 18 plus or minus something over 16. Hello, calculator. Ooh, so it could have been factored because that is just the square root of 4900, which is 70. So y equals negative 18 plus 70 divided by 16. So, oops. So I could say 52 over 16, which reduces to something nicer, 13 over 4. And the other possibility for y would be a negative answer, and y is a measurement. It's the length of a line piece, so the negative doesn't apply. So therefore, that's my value of y. And now that I know y, I go up here, take either equation 1 or equation 2, and I'm going to solve for x. So let's take equation 2. So 76 over 9 minus 4 over 9y squared equals x squared. And we just discovered that y was 13 over 4. So good. I almost forgot the squared. Good thing I didn't. So this is 169 over 16 equals x squared. I mean, obviously I could just use my calculator, but, you know, I don't know. I like doing math. So I'm going to need to get a common denominator, because here I have 4 times 169 is 676. And over here I have 9 times 16 again. So 76 times 16 minus 676. 76 times 16 minus 676 is 540 over 9 times 16, 144. That reduces to 15 over 4 equals x squared. So x is plus or minus the square root of 15 over 4. We can ignore the minus because, again, it's the length of something. So we would say root 15 over 2 is the value of x. Yay!